Well, this is your WW3 news of Monday morning. Now, what's behind these boat crossings from France to United Kingdom full of these multicultural enrichment people? The illegals are wise, they're known as. Well, at the end of the day, they all will basically be a part of that shadow economy in the United Kingdom, as they've been talking about, or be members of trafficking organisations as slaves, which they have to pay off a debt. I don't think one day they wake up from Africa, God knows, from some other shit on, say we're going to come and pay the pensions for the Europeans. No. They'll just an element to the market of cheap labour, slaves. Whether it's for criminal organisations, but like there are Albanian influencers on social media say, come to Britain, you can be a drug dealer. You know, that young chap who studied and say, who gives a fuck? There's no chance in Albania if you don't know anyone. There's a lot of corruption as well. Jumps on a boat and he gets refugee status. And it will be the guardian of these so-called cannabis homegrown thingy bobs. And try will make his way up the ladder of the organisation. Basically, it's all run by some type of organised crimes, basically, in Middle East. Each has their ethnic mobster organisation. And regarding these beggars on the streets, you see a lot of foreigners in big cities like London. They're controlled by some criminal organisation, which they make millions and millions of pounds every year through this. So it's all illegals are coming in, and what they do is not exactly come here to do an honest day's work. They just they just only be the working force for working in underpaid jobs in these so-called Turkish barber shops, vapor shops, all these shops which are run by so-called immigrants. But at the end of the day, it's just only a cover-up to launder money from illegal activities, human trafficking, drugs, or even Islamic terrorism itself, which most of these people come over. They are organised trips. They know what to do in the right moment. Most of these people come over France are the undesirables of French authorities because they're an absolute nuisance. So they've been sent from country to country. Or it could be the case they've been expelled from a European country which they entered inside for, God knows, for some type of criminal offences, entered in illegal, or even they have even a criminal record from their original country. And they know too perfectly well, most of the Western countries, when it comes to the justice system, they're very lenient, they're very soft. That's why you see and you hear stories, all these so-called illegals get away with certain things, or get a lenient sentence. You know, the grooming gangs, sexual violence on people, young girls, and obviously importing a lot of grooming gangs, because they know when they come there, where they can then find underage sex, because it's been imported already years ago in that area, in that community of these ethnic minorities. And how the governments are going to tackle this problem. Obviously, we've seen so far when it comes to left-wing governments or socialists, they let more in, and anything is out of control. Give them an amnesty, give them this and that and that. Once you give them citizenship, they're no good for no one, because there won't be no employable. They prefer to have clandestines. You can charge them, was it, £3 or £5 an hour to work, slave labour, in these so-called shops which I mentioned, establishments. Whether they paid their, entry fee for the trip over the channel or not. It could be the fact their families get blackmailed as well, or harm could be done by an organisation. There is a criminal organisation all behind things which I've mentioned, and it seems to went under the radar a little bit, regarding the authorities, local governments and national governments. That's why this phenomenon is so vast and it's getting more bigger.